Hello and good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Paul Tranny here. Going to dive into today's Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. It's all about melting effects with type, with photos. I'm sure you're guessing what I'm going to use, but we're going to be using multiple techniques and we're going to have fun. So I'm so glad you're here. My name is Paul Tranny, evangelist for Adobe. You can get the starter files below me. Hopefully you're joining me on Behance. Yeah, let's switch over and get this party started, shall we? Shall we do that? All right. Let me show you what I mean by melting effects. So right in here, sort of this sort of stuff, like just fun, drippy, melting look, which again, this is like Paul's style. This is the exact opposite of what we did yesterday where we're doing realistic shadows. Now we're just going to have fun. It's going to be unrealistic. It's going to be fantastical. All that fun stuff. So even right here, that's right, Tim Loomis, the melting pot. The melting pot. So like doing these fun, like melty type things, but we're also going to include some types. So those are just some images to hopefully get you inspired and into this. Good morning, South Bay Creations. Good. Ugh, can I type? So if you guys, I don't know if you guys know this about me, I kind of broke my pinky. So I actually, like in the mornings, I actually can't use, like it's getting to the point where I can't really use my pinky to type. You know, it's just one of those things. All right, so here is the file that you'll download. You could turn off this top layer, it's just some text layer. We have this one, which is very melty, but I also like this brighter one. It just has more that we can work with. So that's why I'm going to go with this one. This one is good, but the problem with this one is like she's a little out of focus. So if you're going to make her face melt on this side, you're going to have to blur that out and all that stuff. So that's why I'm going to go with this second image. But those are the two images I've provided. And let's get party started. Oh, Ted, you do think it's cool? Hopefully you think it's cool. So yeah, here we are. Let's have her melt, you know? Melt into space. Why not? Let's get this party started. How do we remove her first? Because that's what we need to do. We'll go right over here in the properties panel with that layer selected. Let's do a remove background. Zabow! There it is. Thank you for creating this mask. That is so nice. Thank you very much. From there, I'm actually going to paint out even more. So like even down here at the bottom, I'm going to start painting with black. So selecting the brush, we're just going to give her some hard edges because she's going to be kind of floating here in the center, which I think is a good idea. So selecting black as your foreground color, round brush, flows at 100%. Check all of those, and we'll just quickly kind of paint out like I'm doing right down here. So we'll get this started. We'll do some fun painting effects. If you hit the X key, it's going to flop the foreground or switch the foreground and background color, which is what I like to do. Flip it. Now I'm going to paint with white because with that brush, I have more of an opportunity to make it like nice and round if I want to. Flip it again. We can go back, right? So we're not going to spend too much time on this because you guys get the idea. We're going to make it drip anyways, but we do want it to kind of follow the 3D-ness of her back, something like that. So that's all I'm doing. Having some fun here on a lovely Wednesday, if you could believe it. That's what we're doing. We have her cut out. Let's do some more. So what's going to happen is she's going to be dripping kind of from her chin and stuff. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to go ahead and kind of, erase this part as well. Zoop, like that. Zoop. Right up here. We're going to create a cool composite. Since it's Wednesday, we're going to get moving through this pretty quickly because we're midweek. We've hit our stride. We're feeling great. Hello, Bruce. How's this going? Biola, sorry. Tim's in the house. Steve's here. I want to welcome you all. Carol. What's up, gang? Okay, come in here. Let's trim this up like so. Just doing something like that. Cool. Cool. And by the way, I'm going to make all that drip, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Let's hit the X key. Maybe I will go in here and add a little bit more to the top part of the neck. Like that. There we go. We have it done. We have the basis of this done. So let's take this and let's convert it to a smart object. Right click. The one shortcut, Steve, I don't know, Oliver and Key, I would love to hear your like favorite shortcut. I mean, mine's probably changing on a daily basis, but typically it's the shortcut that I created for convert to smart object, right? So mine's Control Option Command S. Bam. I mash all the keys together and I use the first letter of the tool I want to use. Those are my shortcuts. There we go. Boom. She's a smart object, which means I can scale her down. Command T, which is another shortcut. We can kind of shrink her up, put her right here, and have some fun. Is it okay that we're getting weird? Command S is a great one. Huh? Yeah, tell me about it. Cheers to Command S. All right. Let's do this. Okay, background-wise, let's add a new layer and open up our gradients panel. Just throw a nice gradient back there, right? With gradients, this gradient is going to change, so I'm not going to worry too much about it now, but I just like working with a little splash of color right there. Okay, now check this out. I'm going to keep an eye on chat for one. Afrosia, Rose, how you doing? Good to see you here as well. Fantastic. I'm going to create a cool ethereal type drippy look to this. So let's just jump in and do it. Filter, liquify. That's where most of our work's going to happen. But we're really going to cover this. So this is going to be really fun. And we're going to add type. So we're going to go into liquify. We're going to use this first tool right up here. It's called the forward warp tool. I don't know why what makes it forward, by the way, because it should just be called the warp tool. But, you know, I'm not the one that makes up the tools. Let's go in here and let's just start to pull down. We'll keep an eye on the brush tool options right up here. So the density, how dense it is, the pressure is cranked up, and the size at a medium, right? And we'll be able to control those later. But we'll just kind of pull down like that. And then we're going to go in and change this a little bit. Not to worry, but we'll just do something like that. We'll have it kind of dripping from her fingers right there. That's a little much. Not to worry. I'm going to pull this down even more. Oh, yeah, like that. Yeah, we're getting weird. That's okay. By the way, since I'm pulling this down, see how much I can pull that down? If I adjust the pressure, let's cut that in half. Pull down, it's going to give me like a lot less sort of drippiness. So for these larger areas, maybe I don't want to pull it down as much. But that's what I'm doing. Adjusting the pressure, cranking it up some more. I don't know the shortcut for adjusting the pressure because I don't adjust it that much. But today it looks like I am. So we're just kind of pulling that down, pulling it down some more, and having some fun with this. So that's all we're doing. Hopefully you guys are having a good time. Let's make our ear drip. Why not? Is this weird? So it's a melting love theme. That's what we're going for. You know how love... Has anybody ever been in love? You've been in love, how just like your heart melts? So that's what this is. It's like kind of, you see this beautiful woman or man or whatever, and you just like fall in love, and it's a very drippy type of love that we're feeling. So don't take this the wrong way. I'm not meant to be weird. Okay, so I pulled this down a lot, but what I think makes it look cool right now, it looks kind of generic. I'll usually go in and let's have it drip down right here from her finger. Whoop. There we go. We'll go in and we'll use this reconstruct tool right up here. We'll use reconstruct, and then we'll just start clicking on parts of this because this allows us to kind of thin it up. It's even a little strong, so let's take that pressure down. Has anyone been in love? Butter melts too. I'm in love with butter. Hey, butter, sugar. I'm in love with butter and sugar. It's an amazing combo. Whoever thought of that? Like, oh yeah, butter and sugar. Oh yeah, I'm all about it. But this is what I like to do, is like thin this up with the reconstruct tool. It'll just kind of give that drippiness, like it's about to like sort of like break off there. So that's all I'm doing. Just making it look kind of drippy. Just having some fun here, folks. Life doesn't have to be serious. Somebody has fallen in love with her. Maybe she's fallen in love with somebody else. I don't know. We're trying to evict emotion with images, which, hey, it's like art or something. So there we are. Kind of that drippy look. That's what we're going for. We're going to click OK. There we have that. Okay. Is that not her collarbone? Yeah, that is her collarbone right there. You got it. Okay, it's not I think it looks morbid when things are like too realistic. Like this looks a little weird, and we're trying to evoke love and like the magic of love, right? And how you're melting, right? So let's add a fantastical effect using right in here curves. So we're going to add a curves adjustment layer. Okay, it's going right on type, and we'll clip it by holding down the option key and click. Shabam. We'll click on it now, and now we're just going to play with our curves. Down and up. Create these lovely ridges and mountains, because we're going for that electric look, like that. That's what I'm going for. Just making it kind of fun, you know? And that looks much better, right? Cool. Probably need to add some more to this. Okay, so you ready for this part? Since I'm making this image melt, I'd like to have a little bevel like on the bottom part of this image. So I'm going to double click on the blank space next to the layer to bring up the layer style. And we'll just turn on bevel and emboss, and we'll reset this back to the default. So this is what we have, sort of like giving us that nice bevel, right? It's doing it on both sides. What I was going to do is just kind of put the shading underneath to give it that nice bevel like underneath, something like that. So it's just something you have to play with. Even in this case, I can take the opacity of the shadow all the way down, and now it's just adding that highlight on the underside of this image. So that's all I'm doing, is adding a little bit of bevel and emboss to make it kind of give it some depth underneath. Heck, I might even go back in there, by the way. Crank it up. Something like that. Cool. All right, do her in chocolate. Okay, so maybe she is very chocolatey. The thing I don't like about this right now is the fact that there's no, I almost need the underside to, it's not showing depth. So there's no underside to her head. Like it has no volume, okay? So just keeping it, we're doing some serious art today. I hope you guys don't mind. I think this stuff is fun. We're creating something fun, and we're learning along the way. So let's add a new layer. We'll just use a simple brown. We'll go to our brush, and we're just going to start painting. So I'm going to jump in here and start painting. So I'm going to make this brown, like I'm drawing shapes underneath that are going to be melty. So that's what I'm doing with this part right here. Oops. Right, so let's turn that off. This is the part that's going to melt. It's going to be kind of the underside there, by the way. So let's just chop that off. Now let's go in there. Do I even need to convert it to a smart object? Sure, why not? Convert it to a smart object will protect it, because as I go into liquify, if I want to change it later, I could do that. Now, this is what I wanted to get into, sort of phase 2 of this liquify, because I can't really see, like, I kind of know that this stuff needs to drip down. So let's do this really fast. Drip, drip, zip, zip, zip. Crank up the strength, the pressure. You know, maybe that goes further down. Whoop. Pulling it down, pulling it down. Okay. like something like that. So I can't see it. Well, that's when you want to go over here to the side because you can show the backdrop. That's going to show all the layers. And now turn that off. Show me all the layers that I want, and I could even pick the individual layers. So if I just want to show layer 1, for instance, actually, let's try to find her. There we go. It's just this profile image. So now I get an idea of where everything is, and I can see that we have these sort of drips overlapping. The problem with this is, watch when I click. Oh, actually, it still is able to do it. Oh, this is so great. Oh, okay. Oh shoot, turn that on. I accidentally turned that off. But now I can kind of see where everything is in comparison to the drips that I'm making. That's all. So you can either see those ones are kind of overlapping, pulling that stuff down. You get the idea. Cool. Cool. So I think this is really helpful, showing the backdrops. If you do show backdrop all layers in front, you're not going to be able to see everything because it shows all the layers. If you do it behind, right, I can still push things around. But when you show it in front, you're not, when you click, it's going to say, hey, you can't paint because you can't see what you have going on there. So there is some constraints, but usually I just put it behind. Anyways, that looks good. We'll do something like that. And now it's like we have that chocolate meltiness that we're going for. We want to steal that bevel and emboss, right? We could do that, drag that down by holding down the Option key. We've just stolen that emboss and put it on this new melt layer. And then there it is, right? So we're just having some fun. All right, let's add some text, shall we? You can also lower the opacity to see the lower layers. Thank you, Ted. So yeah, I like the idea of using that backdrop. It's a performance thing, you know, in terms of like being able to show the layers on top. But nonetheless, this is looking better. Let's turn on some text, and let's just add some text in here, and we'll see how this works out. I don't know if I have enough room for this text, but you know what? We're going to find out together, right? And chances are I want to have this like kind of weaving in and out. I would probably move this part of her body down some more so it reveals more of it. But let's play with this text first off. And what we need to do is we need to add some text that's going to be pretty fun. Something big and bold and kind of chunky. That's something that already kind of has a melty look to it. And luckily, I've already found one of those. First of all, Cooper would work. Cooper could work for this, by the way. We'll go to -20, tighten it up. So here's one option right in here. Let's put our cursor right in there. We'll do, actually, does that work? Hold on, wait for it. There we go. Option, Command, arrow keys left and right will adjust that. The spacing in between that letter and the other letters. And that's what we have to work with, like right there. Okay. Let's duplicate that. I'm going to show you a different font really fast, because if you're not familiar with Adobe fonts, don't you love this font, Yink? Can we talk about this, Bruce? Bruce, Umacorn, Annika, can we talk? Afroja, can we talk about this? Look at this. Come on now. It's like my job's already done. That is so cool. Well, let's see how Yink looks in here. Y-I-N-K. Get rid of the spacing. And there that font is, too. Which is also a great option, huh? Are you into it? You guys like it? So melty. All right. What's up, Jack Watson's in the house. How you doing, Jack? All right, so I would typically throw a gradient on top of this so I can like double click, throw a ton of stuff at it to make it look melty. Let's reset this back to default. Let's put a gradient overlay over the top, something that's not so crazy. Come on now, Paul. Get your act together. Do something like, I don't know. We'll go with something like that. Uh-oh. Don't use global light. There we are. And I like kind of playing with the contour, glass contour, to see if I get anything interesting. Even that's not bad. Okay, so that's done. Right? We could add so much to this, and I'm not even sure this is looking good, by the way. Is it looking good? I almost preferred it in white. But not to worry, what we're going to do is, actually, you know what? We're going to jump this layer. We're going to get rid of clear layer styles. And we're going to convert this to a smart object, and we're going to melt the text. Filter, liquify. This, we're going to do it really large, and we're just going to pull this down. Again, like it's melting, but not anything too crazy because this font already has this like great look to it to begin with. So does it need a lot going on here? Not really. In fact, we're going to reconstruct some of this because I almost made it look too distorted. So here I'm just pulling down parts of that letter, doing something like that. And there we go. Let's put that behind. And we'll start playing with this some more. And checking the time. I got about 4 minutes. I better hurry up. Layer mask. The parts I want on top. Not this. Let's see how this looks. Again, just kind of still playing with this, but you get the idea. You know, I only have 30 minutes. Cut me some slack. So yeah, so there we go. Do you like the white? Do you not like the white? I'm totally interested in hearing what you think. Can you read this as the word love? Is liquify even doing this justice? Right? Maybe it's not doing it justice, and maybe I just turn it off. So it's like one thing about a lot of this. You know what I think it's working on? It's working on this L. But maybe not so much right here. But it's not bad. It's not bad. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's where we're at. Throw some more effects on it. We'll play with this some more, right? Double click. I have a couple minutes to kind of play around. I'd probably do a radial. I would give this more contrast to the background. You know, work on something like that. I'd probably even work on the shading of this text too. So adding a layer, clipping it, selecting this purple and painting with a brush to give it some depth is kind of what I would do. Something like that. It's kind of offset. You know what? I'm seriously channeling my inner Magdiel Lopez right now. You know, messaging him the other day, and I think that's kind of what's on my mind right now. So maybe that's where this came from. But again, just integrating that in with the design a little bit more effectively, you get the idea. Let me know what you think. Needs more cowbell? Yeah, we could, you know, it's all about the editing process. I think as you as you get older. Ooh, I have this part. Did nobody notice this? I don't know. I know it's clearly my mess up. Right here, let's put all of this behind. There we go. Love, we're getting freaky. I think we got the idea. Frank's like, Paul, you could stop now. We get it, Paul. Enough. But anyways, I love Meg DL's style. I love the melty stuff. Like, as you can see here, here's one that I worked on earlier. Right, same process, just spent a little bit more time in it. And then here's our version. And I think we had a lot of fun, didn't we? Hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you feel the love. But it's International Women's Day. And, you know, it's all about loving people, you know, because you got to be able to sleep at night. And, you can't if you have hate in your heart. It's hard. And that's enough preaching. Thanks so much, Robert, Anki, Stoney, Afroja, Roshan, everybody who joined me elsewhere. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you guys very soon. Don't forget to post your work to Discord, and I'll check it out. I'll post this there shortly as well. So thanks. Have a wonderful day. We got another daily creative challenge coming up next. Illustrator, I'll be creeping in the chat there. It's going to be super fun. So stick around. Thanks so much, everybody. And we will see you tomorrow.